All right, so we're continuing with this analysis. At present, I've had not been up nowhere near as long as I was on those last notes analysis videos that I made, and so hopefully I can be more coherent. I didn't have much. It was hard for me to get anything done. I wasn't able to really just kind of again, what I was going to do was read over these and kind of highlight some things. So we're going to have to kind of wing it again. But I've left off here. And you see this pointer I'm using. Okay, so as I'm reading a section, I'll point to the general section that I'm reading if you hadn't already noticed that. But throughout the dispatch, mobile crisis, tangential thought processes and paranoid thoughts regarding his friend spreading lies about him. Reporting, he records telephone conversations with people in case they try to use them against him. Okay, so absolutely, this is a lie. And again, this regarding my friend spreading lies about me, that's a mischaracterization. And this here, right here, consumer also reported that he obsesses over psychological journals and diagnosing himself with different disorders. That's a lie. I told him about how I have in the past, after I got out of the hospital, that I had a habit of diagnosing myself with that, what I say, quote unquote, everything under the sun. But I never said anything about that I obsess over psychological journals. I mean, nothing remotely like that. And again, this is past tense. That I told them. In other words, they're putting it in present tense. And what I told them is this happened for a brief period after I got out of the hospital. Okay, disorganized speech. Finds it difficult to concentrate on his work. I never said that. Now, this impairment, that's that I have in cognitive impairments. That is partially so. I'd had some cognitive impairment in the past, some profound cognitive impairments from my medications. But now here, the past diagnosis, they've got my past diagnosis basically right, except they misspell schizoaffective. Again, I'm a bad speller, but I know enough about psychology that I know how to spell this correctly. If these people were really versed in what they were doing, they would know that this is not the correct way to spell schizoaffective disorder. Okay, consumer reported numerous past hospitalizations, I did report where, why, and the outcome for sure. That's a lie, and I gave them my whole narrative. Okay, and then they got the recommendations. Now again, on these recommendations, I told them I don't even need this paper. There's no need for me to have this. Take your papers with you, and they said that they have to. They have no choice. Okay. I'm going to scroll through here and look for more inaccurate statements, and there's some general comments that I've got to make. Okay, unsure how long. So consumer reported his web designs also cause him stress because one small mistake can derail the whole project. Now, what I told them is if I write a programming script, that one semicolon being out of place can cause my programming script to crash, and this gets very, very frustrating, particularly if I write some big long programming script. This is par for the course for a web developer or somebody that programs anything. That it gets frustrating when your stuff is breaking. Which is a side note. I hadn't been in this business long. In this programming business and web development, when these folks had visited, I would have been programming for about maybe a year and a half, something like this. The solution there is you write your programming in small modules instead of writing one big script. I'm a self-taught programmer. I never went to school for it at all. Taught myself, and it was brutal. Okay, I've already went over this. Malarious is bullshit. All of this did not appear to be concerned with. And then there was piles of trash. What kind of low shit is this? Okay. Okay, and here this looks like we're down to Sherry Horton. I'm just scrolling through here to see what kind of bullshit we can find. Okay, it looks like they're copying it. They're employing a copy and paste here with their notes. Okay, so here, let me go and make some general comments. Okay, the first general comment I'll make is on this treatment plan right here. I was never shown this. That they say that they couldn't get an agreement, that I agreed to it, but they couldn't get a signature because of paranoid thought process. Absolutely, they never presented this to me at all. Okay. I never received a copy of this treatment plan. This is bullshit. Yeah, so they never told me anything about a treatment plan. Now, of course, this does sort of match up. They leave these papers here and tell me I can call these people after telling them I don't need them. But I never agreed to nothing. And have they wanted me to sign something? Again, this was never presented to me. That they talked about things that sort of resemble this, but there was never no written plan. There was never a request to sign anything or to agree to anything. Okay. Now, the next thing I'll note real quick is they never mention in these notes at all. They do not mention how they kept redirecting me to get my mental health diagnosis. Okay, they have this obsession with my do I have a mental illness? And what is my diagnosis? Okay, so why do they not explain it? Because they know that's a fishy behavior that has no place in this interaction that they're having with me. And again, they obviously, they committed a crime here and they know it. They also didn't mention this thing that where at the end she gives me this HIPAA violation, this HIPAA rights paper, and I say that's what Jenny did. Okay, Jenny violated my medical privacy at work, or Jenny violated my medical privacy and spread my whatever I said. Basically, that Jenny got these. What I was saying was that Jenny got these details about my mental health history, and I referenced medical privacy. I can't remember if I said she violated at work or violated and told people at work, or whatever happened there. Whatever, however I phrased it, but that's what I said. This is nowhere in these notes. Instead, they characterize this. So again, let me tell you my concern with Jenny at this point. Jenny's been lying to me. That in December 17, that she's reached out to this. She's reached out and talked to somebody and heard some things about me and spread them to my coworkers. And she's been lying about it this whole time. And this whole I've expressed this grievance 1,000 times. I think you should be familiar with it if you read my complaint and seen the other videos and all of this stuff. And they just determined to characterize this as these paranoid thoughts, delusions, living in hell because if she spreads lies about me. And again, my concern, the way that I present my problem, the way I describe it, it sounds very, very rational and coherent. And this rational, coherent way that I describe it is nowhere to be found in these notes. Okay. The next thing is you'll notice, and they keep calling me paranoid, delusional. They just assert these things. Okay. So they never explain why it is that I believe certain things, that certain things I believe are paranoia, or why it's a delusion, or what the reason that they just continually assert this. Now let me find. There was one on here where they claim. I can't find it, but the next thing I'll bring your attention to is you'll see here throughout these notes. Let me go. Let's start from the beginning here. I'll find examples of this. Okay, so they have all this information. They get this unknown. They'll give some of this. They'll give yes, unknown. Okay, and they keep talking about how they're unable to obtain certain information due to my paranoia, etc. Now, if somebody's paranoid, it makes no sense that they would give half the information and then half the information they wouldn't. Okay, if I was generally paranoid about these people, or paranoid in whatever sense that they perceive me to be paranoid, again, this is, what was this? So, let me find one of these here. Okay. Unable to gather information due to consider tangential thought process and paranoia. Okay. So why? So a history of depression and emotional pain, but did not report duration of symptoms. Okay. So they're not. So why would I not give you the duration of my symptoms, but I would tell you that I have depression and emotional pain. Some more here. Another here. Actually, I'll go back here. Okay, so first off, I almost certainly did tell her this, but assuming that she's correct, why would I not disclose this? But I would tell them to have a traumatic experience. But what's the rhyme or reason as to why I give some of this information and why I don't, given that I'm quote unquote paranoid, tangential thought process, and all this other garbage? Okay, and again, consumer did not disclose the names of his providers, duration, or outcomes of services. Some of these for sure I gave them. I'm not sure. There's a possibility that I didn't give them the name of my current provider. I don't know. Probably if they asked for it, I would have given it. And actually, most likely, almost certainly, I did give them my current provider. I don't know why on earth I wouldn't give them my current provider. I mean, why would I not? Okay, so unknown, unable to. So again, why do I tell them that I've got psych medications, but I don't tell them my family history of mental health issues or suicide attempts? Why do I not tell them this, but I do tell them about my medications I described? Why do I tell them that I'm not currently having suicidal thoughts, but I won't tell them if I've had them in the past. I won't tell them this. I'll tell them that I'm not currently having thoughts of hurting someone else. So again, what's the rhyme or reason? This makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, and then let's keep looking here. Again, we got more of the same bullshit. Where why? This is stupid. Now here, the next thing I want to bring your attention to is here. They're unable to obtain my psychosocial information due to my tangential thought processes, paranoia, and active psychosis. Okay, and I'm actually going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to get an inventory of all these things that impair them from getting information from me. Okay, and here's another lie, by the way. Paranoid about others watching him. I've never had a thought about others watching him. People trying to kill me. I told them, I did tell Jenny that people tried to kill me in the past. I've got a very rational story for that. I mean, this is not, so having people out to kill me, and I've been that tried to kill me in the past, and that may attempt it in the future. This is not. It's a misstatement. Okay, they're leaving out details here. Again, everything is distorted. So everything in this report is either flat out, it's distorted, it's a lie, or I'm sorry, it's either a flat out lie, or it's distorted to the extreme to convey an impression that I have some kind of a mental health condition when I don't. In other words, there's stuff that's remotely has any connection to the truth. That there's a systematic kind of rewording, lies of omission, distorting effect where everything is distorted. It tends towards what you would expect if someone was having some kind of a mental health issue. Okay. Okay. So here, okay. So we've got tangential and disorganized thought processes. Okay, but let's keep going. Okay, so here, tangential thought process of paranoia. Okay, there's tangential thought process again. If you missed that, I'll show you. I'll go back up here. So they're unable to get. Okay, so we got paranoia and tangential thought processes at different times. Okay, so here we got that they're unable to obtain because tangential thought processes, paranoia, and active psychosis. Okay. Okay, so here we've got tangential thought patterns. So now we got tangential thought patterns. We've got a tangential thought pattern instead of a process. So that's interesting. So now our inventory of impediments getting information. We've got tangential thought processes, tangential thought patterns, paranoia, and active psychosis. Okay, now we've got so now we're going to add to that paranoid state. Okay, so I've got paranoia. I've also got a paranoid state. Okay, and so now I've got paranoia / psychosis. So I guess we'll just go ahead and call this the new one. It's psychosis. So we've got an active psychosis and a psychosis. Okay, a tangential thought process is paranoia and active psychosis. Okay, on this one. Okay, they're unable to obtain. Okay, okay, and here they're impaired from getting significant social supports due to active psychosis. Okay, and here's another one: tangential thought processes, paranoia, and active psychosis. Okay, I've got paranoid, unorganized, and preoccupied thought processes. Good. I'm overweight. Okay, tangential thought processes. Another one there. Okay, tangential processes, paranoia, and active psychosis. Okay. Well, it looks like we've got a pretty much exhaustive list here. I'm not seeing any new ones. I'm overweight again. Okay, so in regards to all these things that impair them from collecting information from me, which again, if they'd asked me any of this stuff, they can give me a list of information they needed, I would have gave it to them. But here's what I wanted to know is I would like to isolate each of these. Okay, if I were to question these crisis counselors, I would like to know the specific nature of how my tangential thought processes impair them from getting information. I would like the same for the paranoia. Okay, I would like to isolate each of these components. I would like to isolate the tangential thought process component, the tangential thought pattern component, the paranoia component, the paranoid state component, the psychosis component, and the active psychosis component. And I would like to get those defined and get isolated. So here we have in combination we have the tangential thought processes and paranoia. Are impairing them from getting information from me. So why is it not? Why is the active psychosis component not here? Well, why is there no impairment of them getting information based on my active psychosis here? What's the difference between these down here on the next pages where my active psychosis comes into play? Okay. Okay. So here, again, why is my paranoia not included here? Why my paranoid states, active psychosis? How does whatever impairment is caused by my tangential thought processes? That's the sole impediment here, as it is not on these above and some of the ones below. Okay, and so again, now here we got 3 components here. And so again, I want each of these components defined. And I want to know what differentiates one impairment from the other, and how this comes into play. Because what this appears to me is this appears to be an indiscriminate cramming these notes full of mental health buzzwords. Okay, so here I've got tangential thought patterns and paranoia. Okay, and so here I like it again. So what's the difference between a tangential thought pattern and a tangential thought process? What is the definition of this active psychosis component, and why is it excluded here? I think you get the point. That this is a total bullshit. They're just filling these things up with assertions about all these mental health conditions that I have, without giving any reason as to why I have them, and it's done in a very sloppy way. Now let me go here. I'll show you something else. Okay, and by the way, this is what Jenny told me when Jenny told me about this crisis counselor, Allie, coming with her to the master's office. She said that this is what Allie said to her. Said that guy was super smart. It was like sitting in a classroom with one of my professors. Okay, so that was Allie's impression that she gave to Jenny. Okay, but here my strengths are medication management and intelligence. Okay, now this is kind of funny, given that I've got an active psychosis and all this other stuff, and it kind of begs the question as to how I'm managing my medication so well. When I've got paranoia and tangential thought processes, psychosis, active psychosis, paranoid state, and all this other stuff. Now here, abilities, academic skills, communication skills. Okay, so I have good communication skills. Did they not characterize me repeatedly in this thing as having a disorganized thought process, of being tangential, of not giving them information? This is contradictory here. Okay, again, when someone has a disorganized thought process, they don't have good communication skills. It's hard to follow what the hell they're talking about. Preferences. I never said this shit. So leave me alone. This is a lie. Okay. Now here they diagnosed me with an unspecified schizophrenia spectrum disorder. Okay. Now this is suspect here. That I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I've told them this for at the time they're here. It's been about 19 years I've been diagnosed with bipolar. 18, 19 years I've been diagnosed with bipolar type 1 disorder. So if they're trying to make some bullshit report that matches reality, that passes the sniff test, or whatever you want to call it, the people that their antennas that be raised, it would make more sense to diagnose me with bipolar disorder. Okay, to say that I have a bipolar disorder, as opposed to me as a 38-year-old man having all of a sudden this unspecified schizophrenia spectrum and psychotic disorder. So why don't they say that I have bipolar disorder? Well, my hunch here is these people are so unversed in psychology. They have so little knowledge of what they're talking about, that they're not aware that you can have a psychosis with bipolar disorder as well. That probably they think if they're gonna make up this report and say they've got all these psychosis and paranoia and all this stuff, that they have no option other than to call me unspecified schizophrenia, or they have to give me some kind of schizophrenia or psychotic disorder to say that I'm in psychosis. Affect appropriate. Okay, now again, mood elevated, anxious. So my mood is elevated. Okay, now they've talked about here that I'm depressed, I'm agitated, elevated mood. That tends to be, when you hear that language, that's like a kind of a manic state, where you're kind of You're not. I'm sad. You're not emotional pain. All these other things they describe, but you're kind of happy and grandiose, and expansive, and things like this. So this makes no sense whatsoever. My affect is appropriate. Okay. Again, how does appropriate affect fit in with any of this? And here I can provide an accurate history. Okay, so if they've been unable to get information about my history, about all this different stuff, all this info that they're missing, but here they say that I can provide an accurate history. Okay, and where did I deny or minimize anything? This video is getting really long, so I'm gonna have to cut this off. But I think that anybody, again, if you're a professional watching this and you look at these notes, you should be able to follow my thought process on here. That this is just a flat out a scam. Again, I'm going to have to get this call here with this three-way call, so you can see, in 3 minutes how she diagnoses me. What she diagnosed me as a psychotic disorder. Okay, this is stupid. You can't diagnose anybody with anything over a phone, and there was no reason for them to say this in these notes. Okay. Okay. I guess that's it. And again, just to summarize, these notes make no sense. They're full of contradictions. They're full of lies. They're full of systematic distortions of the things that are remotely resemble the truth. And this is just a flat out fraud. Okay, flat out fraud by a girl that pays off her mortgage about 3 months after she writes these notes. Paid off her $186,000 roughly balance on her mortgage. She paid off after writing these notes. Okay, again, people don't do this for free. People don't make a bunch of healthcare fraud. It's going to get them in trouble for free. They will do it if you can pay off their mortgage. And who is in the situation with me that has enough money and also an interest in this that they could afford to pay off somebody's mortgage? Okay, it's a dumb question. This is not a question everybody knows the answer. It's Wells Fargo.